And welcome into the Week 16 edition of Top Dogs here on Pick Dawgz and Pick Dawgz YouTube. Mark Zino alongside Jeremy Kahn as always. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. What else am I leaving out?
As Smokey Robinson said, Happy Chinooka, whatever that is. Chinooka.
What's a Chinooka?
That's Hanukkah.
Oh,
he was doing.
Give me a second.
What were those videos called that you'd pay a celebrity to?
Cameos. The
cameos. Yes, yeah. He was doing a cameo, and they wrote Chinooka, and he didn't realize, that's the correct spelling for Hanukkah. Yeah,
and he said Chinooka.
He kept saying Chinooka.
Wishing you and yours a happy Chinooka.
Whatever that is.
David Lee Roth lights the menorah. So did James Conn, the late Kirk Douglas, and the great Dinah Shore. All right, let's get here. We got five NFL games to go over and a show best bet. And let's get it started with the game that is on Saturday between the Packers of Green Bay and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. That guy was awesome. He had the best voice. Yeah. The Frozen.
Wonder what he sounded like in bed. No.
Why? Why?
Because of that reaction, that's why.
Is there a reason? I mean, if you and I were alone in a room, sure, having joking around, that would be par for the course. We both laugh, but we're trying to do a show here.
Did you see Josh Hart after the Knicks won the NBA Cup? Jalen Brunson was in front of him, and he checked his oil. Yeah.
Checked his oil.
He said it was AI.
Antonio Brown had a couple of comments about that from prison. Yeah. Was he? No, he's not in prison yet, is he?
I don't know. Maybe he's on house arrest.
Anyway, you still got access to his Twitter, so the entertainment rolls on. All right, Bears a 1.5 point dog. Jeremy, you and I now both know what to do when we see the 1.5 point dog. Take the dog, home dog less than 2. But I don't want to. I don't believe in the Bears. I don't. I think they're fugazi.
He was a bear.
So, I mean, how did the Packers respond off a loss? Fair question.
The loss of Micah Parsons, yeah.
Right? I mean, this game literally will decide the division, even though there's only a half game separating these two teams. You know, I was having this conversation with somebody last night they were asking me about the Bears. They're a big Bears fan. I said, if you don't get gifted wins by the Raiders, the Giants, and the Bengals, 3 of the worst teams in the league, you're 7-7, and we're not even having a conversation right now. That's what bothers me.
And this happens every year, right? There's a team that gets a little lucky in a few games.
Washington last year.
Yeah. Probably a year too early. They're figuring things out.
I can't wait to fade against the Bears win total next year. Part of me wants them to win 12 games, so they set the win total at 11 at 10.5 or 11, and I can hammer the under. But I don't think the Bears are the better team. And I look at this and I go, do I really want to lay points on the road within the division? No, it's probably going to be a stay away game for me. I mean, you know me, I would tease the Bears, although the total is pushing sort of the limits of where I like to tease at. If you're doing your Stanford Wong typical teaser here. But I mean, game script is, how do the Bears win this thing? Because I don't know how that works out for them.
If it ends up being one of those games where there's no pass rush, yeah, I could see Caleb Williams sitting back there with the wide receiver set that he has and picking them apart. Do I think that happens? No. So I'm trying to get it's weird. I always want to look at the way that the dog can cover or win, because I do think there's tremendous, especially at home, tremendous value in home dogs. Even in the division you're looking at it, and I agree with you, I can't take the Bears here. I think the Packers are the right side, even after the loss of Micah Parsons.
I mean,
the Bears have been leaning on their run game, and I think they're not going to run the football as well in Green Bay.
Go back to the last game these two teams played 2 weeks ago in Green Bay, right? A lot of the numbers looked eerily similar as far as, 21 first downs for the Bears, 17 for the Packers. They both were really good on third down. Bears were 8 of 16. Packers were 8 of 12. Total yards, 315 to 337 in favor of Green Bay. They both had one turnover. They both ran the ball for over 100 yards. Nobody passed all that well. I'm not sure if I don't remember if the weather was bad or not, but I think it was just cold. Here's the one thing that jumps off the page to me. Yards per play, which is a very important stat that odds makers use in determining a line. In the last game, The Bears averaged 4.6. The Packers averaged 6.5. And the Bears actually held on to the ball for like 7 minutes longer in that game. So I don't, you want to sit here and talk about, it doesn't tell me the number of plays that they ran, but they must have just been getting, first down after first down and eating up a lot of clock. But the yards per play thing to me stands out. It's just like Green Bay's a better team. I just don't want to lay points on the road, even if it's only 1.5 points. It's not a spot. I mean, you're asking Jordan Love to play a near perfect game, and that's tough.
And I would play it on the money line and not the minus the 1.5.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Just avoid the headache altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a world where Green Bay covers, the 1.5, and Chicago covers the 7.5 tees? Of course. Game landed on 7 last time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I would really look at doing would be Chicago in a tease. But I don't trust the Bears. I just don't. And this is a team that plays a lot of one-score games, and when they have to step up in class. I don't know that they've necessarily requited themselves all that well. The win over the Eagles a couple of weeks ago was, the one that you still scratch your head at. I mean, it really was. They lose to a better team in the Ravens. They lose to Detroit.
They had 2 100-yard rushers in that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the outlier, right?
Yeah.
Go down the list. They beat Dallas in week 3 with the worst defense in the league. They beat the Raiders. They beat Washington, who was mush. And there was no Jaden Daniels in that game either, if I recall correctly. Yeah, because that was Marcus Mariota on Monday night. They only won that game by a point. They beat the Saints. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Giants. I mean, I guess the Steelers is a good win, if you will. But, they don't – well, every time they step up in class, they don't do well, if you ask me.
Yeah, Bears fans don't want to hear it. And, again, that's why I keep saying you're about a year away. But, you've had a lot of fortunate things go your way, and one of those things is actually the schedule, and they're not all created equally. And I think once you start playing more games within your division, we start to see where the losses are coming from, because those are the best teams you've played. I got to take the Packers here. I don't buy into what I'm seeing from the Bears here long-term. And, Vegas was saying it the entire time with the Patriots at home. The Broncos were the one team that came back, ironically beat the Packers. And we saw that too with the Bears being underdog at home, but for like a touchdown. It's just ridiculous, some of the things we've seen this year.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll probably stay away from the game altogether, to be honest with you. Could I see it getting over? It's under 47, which is a key total. Could I see it going over that? Yeah, but you're asking Caleb Williams and Jordan Love to play really well, and I don't know that I would bet on them both doing it in the same game. I mean, again, last time it was 28-21, so you got way over at 49, but still.
You also got all touchdowns too, right?
Yeah, and there was no field goals in the game. So anyway. All right, Chargers and Cowboys. Cowboys are not officially eliminated yet. If the Eagles win a game, they will be eliminated.
Or if the Cowboys lose a game.
So this game could be totally useless to the Cowboys come Sunday. That makes it dangerous to play, because Philadelphia plays on Saturday. If they beat Washington, they lock up the division, and Dallas is done. But it's interesting that odds makers would make Dallas the 2.5-point favorite at home. And that's the reason why I put the game here, because are they telling us that the Cowboys, you're telling me that on a neutral site, this is a pick 'em, and that is not true.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think the Chargers are another one of those teams that have been fortunate in a lot of games, and here we are we're on a back-to-back road game.
I know.
Off of an emotional win against a division opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You ended Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs for this season, and who knows how long in the next year. And then all of a sudden, now you got to go beat this Cowboys team, and I don't see them benching anybody. I don't think guys sitting. I understand what's the inspiration to go out and play, but they're at that point where it's like we're not losing games intentionally and sending out the worst team. Jerry Jones doesn't want to do that. He wants to win. So I still think you're going to see Dak and everybody in the game no matter what happens on Saturday.
Here's the problem, with the Chargers. They have all of their losses are huge head scratchers to me, maybe with the exception of the Colts, right? But this has been a banged-up team. They lose to the Giants and Commanders in back-to-back weeks. So what the hell happened? The Commanders was at home, no less. They lose to the Colts at home. And then the 35-6 loss to the Jaguars on the road. I could see the Jaguars winning the game. getting blown out 35-6 was not on no one's bingo card that week. No one's. But they were awful. They only had 135 total yards. The what do you call it? The Jaguars held on to the ball for 15 minutes longer than they did. So, is this a trap game, or a flat spot for them? Possibly. But now this is a Chargers team. Just based off their defense, I could conceivably tease them up. But this is too high of a total, which brings in a lot of variance. So I'd be a little less hesitant here. Yeah. I just don't. Here's the thing, and I said this on, what was it, the Sunday night game, the Monday night? What did the Cowboys play last week? Sunday night and Monday
night? Sunday night, right? No, they played Minnesota. Did I lose Mark? Is it just me? It's only me. What the hell just happened? Oh, man, this is going to be fun. Now I can't stop coughing because I get
wrong button.
I can't stop laughing. It was just me singing to myself, so hopefully you leave it in.
I will, because I don't know how to edit it out. I hit the wrong back button. I was on my thing, and I hit the wrong.
I deleted myself.
Sorry about that, everybody. So anyway, what I wanted to do was go back on the Chargers schedule, and I hit it on the studio button. Anyway, I don't know. Here's what I said. Who'd they play last week on Sunday night and Monday night? The Cowboys.
Is it Minnesota?
Monday night, right?
I thought that was Sunday night.
And it's Sunday night. You're right. It was Sunday night. So here's the thing. Going into that game, the Cowboys were laying 5.5. I'm like, I don't want to live in a world where this defense is laying 5.5 to anybody. The Cowboys defense has improved, but it's still not good. And the Vikings exposed that. And I don't see a world here where, even with the total as high as it is, I would tease the Chargers. That's the only way I would play this game.
I really like the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the play either way. This Chargers team, again, you talked about Fugazi with the Bears. There's some good pieces here, but I don't see it. And Herbert's still banged up. He's playing through it. They just got Hampton back. He looked good last game, so there's some benefits there. But I like the Cowboys here in this spot. I do think the over looks interesting because, again, the Cowboys have one of the best offenses in football. When they're clicking, it's like it's hard to stop with two, maybe 1.5 number one wide receivers, a tight end that can eat up the middle of the field, and a decent running game. So, I think the Cowboys are the play, though.
All right. Well, again, probably no official play for me here, but I would definitely consider teasing the Chargers in this spot. Game that'll likely decide the NFC South, even though they have another matchup coming up at the end of the season. Panthers and Bucks. Bucks laying 3 on the road. Is there a team that is more shaky and not trustworthy right now than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, definitely. That's who. I mean, when you look at what's going on and the things that were said, even out in the media and talking about behind the scenes, like guys not being in the right spot, playing for themselves, and all this other stuff, it doesn't look good. So, I mean, this obviously goes one of two ways, and the hard part is figuring it out. Either they bond together after this and the ship gets right, or that thing sinks right away and they're Dunsky.
Baker Mayfield has typically done pretty well against the Panthers in the last 2 years. You're talking about, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, averaging 235 yards a game, completing around 67% of his passes. Last year in the 2 games against him, he dusted. He threw 5 touchdowns last year in a game against Carolina. So I don't know if this is the get-right spot for the Buccaneers, and the Panthers are exposed for what they are. Here's the rub is that, the Bucs defense is bad. Their pass defense is really bad. It's suspect. But how does Carolina, and it's fair to ask the question, how does Carolina handle this moment? 2 years ago, this moment was unfathomable for this team and for this quarterback, no less.
Abominable.
Yeah, they're just coming off a bad loss to New Orleans on the road. Buccaneers are off a Thursday night loss. They got a mini bye in a game that they led by 14 in the fourth quarter, and somehow Atlanta pulled a rabbit out of a hat and did it. And, oh, by the way, this is the first time they're on the road since all the way back in late November. They had 3 straight home games. So we know Carolina's much better. They're better to bet on his home. And it's also telling, Jeremy, that the odds makers are sitting this at a flat 3 right here. Maybe you wait and see by kickoff where the money goes and follow it. I'll say it again because I'm non-traditional. This is a very good spot where I would tease the Panthers to the 9. I don't care that. You know what it clears? It clears 4 and 7. How's that for 2 key numbers? Bite me.
It makes sense.
There's no way Tampa's winning this thing by 2 scores. Not without help from interceptions or defense or special teams or whatever.
Or goofy things you can't handicap. Like
right. I can't predict a turnover. I can't predict a pick 6. I can't, a special teams.
Even if you did, what about where it happens on the field? It's totally different. Like there's
not all interceptions are created equal. Some of them are the same as punts. So, I think that my gut says lean Panthers here, but I would wait and see if this thing moves.
Oh, it just did.
Did it really?
Oh, never mind. You're talking. Yeah. No. I think this is that perfect game that I think this is that perfect game to talk about where it's like I can make a case for both sides, so it's probably more of a stay away for me. Like I want to trust Tampa Bay in this spot, but as you pointed out, they're like the least trustworthy team because of what's going on behind the scenes. Is that spilling out into the field? Plus, this team has been banged up all year long. There's a lot of frustration from where they were and now where they're at, but they also got to the really good part of their schedule. Panthers will surprise you in any game. Like you could see the Panthers that looked like a 1-15 team years ago, or a team that's coming out and actually could be a potential playoff team. I don't like. I might take a look at the total, and I'd probably bet the under.
As we were talking here, and looking at the total, and trying to see who does what. Where is Carolina? Carolina. I mean, South. They score a lot more at home, but it's only 22 because they only score 16 on the road. And Tampa scores just under 22 on the road.
Yeah.
But I think the defense here for Carolina is really what, makes me wonder. They give up 22 a game at home and on the road. And when you look at Tampa Bay, they give up 25 on the road. So the over may be a way to go here, but you're in that you're sitting past 44 into 45. I mean, it's like 44, 23 is what you need to get to here.
See, I like the other side of it. I like the under, and I understand like looking at the defenses, but I always treat these games, and as you pointed out, this is almost like a championship game.
Yeah. It's a playoff game.
And I feel like not necessarily everything's going to be played closer to the vest because teams now are going for it on 4th down more and for longer distances than we've ever seen in this league. So sometimes you're going to see that, but I also think you're going to see these teams be smart and play it safe in situations, which is why I think we see the clock running and we see more of the running game to keep the opposing team's offense off the field.
Here's just one other thing to keep in mind when these two teams play again in Week 18. In between, the Panthers have to go to San Fran, and the Buccaneers have to go to Miami, who are now have Quinn Ewers under center. So we're going to spin with Quinn in Miami. But so if the Panthers win this game, the Buccaneers still may have a little bit of life heading into Week 17 or Week 18 rather for the game. I wish we had more definitive answers on this one, but this kind of game, maybe you just sit back and watch it, wait to see what happens to Week 18.
Yeah, you hate to say it because it's almost like when you have 2 top 25 teams playing each other or something, the marquee games, people want your opinion on it, even though if it's not a great game to gamble on. I don't see myself having an edge either way here. And, my lean would be towards the under. But even then, I'm not suggesting everyone go out and, hit that slam button on it and bet it.
No. And also, like I said, if this was 3.5, we would be having a different conversation, right? Just take the dog, and live with it. But I don't trust the Buccaneers at this point in time. It goes back to the same thing. I say it all the time. I don't want to lay points on the road within the division. Like I have to have a very sort of either, specific reason to do it or even a weird feeling that, there's got to be something else pushing me to that. Speaking of flat threes, you know, see, what I used to date was flat threes back in the day.
But you had 2 of them.
That made it a 6. So Jaguars and Broncos here. I don't believe in the Bears. I don't know if I believe in the Broncos. The Broncos don't beat anybody by margin, but asking them to win a game by a field goal is not by margin. The Jaguars are completely and wholly untrustworthy on the road. But, I'm one of those guys like Broncos have won, 11 straight now?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, are they going to win every single game the rest of the year? Oh, I would bet against it. I just don't know if this is a spot where it happens at home against the Jaguars, who have won 5 straight and probably played above their head a little bit.
I think they both have been doing that.
But the difference is this. The Jaguars have done it against much inferior competition than Denver. Yes, the Broncos have played the Raiders twice over the last couple, and the Commanders in there, but they've also done it against an improved Dallas team. They did it against Houston. They did it against KC. They did it against Green Bay. That's not the case for the Jaguars. Because other than the head-scratching game over the Chargers, it's been Arizona, Tennessee, a banged-up Colts team, and the Jets. Like, okay, not exactly murderer's row here. And go back to another team when they step up in class. What happens? Lose to Seattle, lose to the Rams. Again, lose a game to Houston. These are major step-ups in class that
But is this?
That defense is, yeah. I mean, look, the other best defenses they faced this year, Houston, they split with them, but they only scored 17. And that was back in week 3 when Houston's offense was a complete and utter mess.
Well, they blew this last game. That was their fault on offense. They turned it over late.
Right. And they blew a lead. Houston came back and won. And then you look at the Seattle and Rams are 2 of the best defenses in the league, and their offense was dead. The Rams game was overseas too. So, I mean, I lean Denver here. I would bet Denver. I wouldn't bet Jacksonville.
I was hoping you were going to say I lean over here. See what I did there?
Yes.
Anyway,
you would say I bend over.
No, bend over.
Bent
All
over.
Right,
bent over.
No, I think Jacksonville's the play here, man. Like I feel like this is a field goal game either way. I don't think they're playing up in class. And I really feel like they're starting to hit their stride. And yes, we could talk about some of the teams they've beat. But going back to it, we'd have to actually look at the teams and say, were they good when they were playing them? Because I think a lot of teams have totally flipped of who's good, who's bad. Like that win over the Chiefs at home doesn't look as good now.
No, it doesn't. But we know what the Chiefs are. Look, the win over San Fran, the game in San Fran in week 4, that was the first. Was that Brock? I think it was still Brock Purdy at that, but it was still Purdy. But I think that was the game he got hurt.
Yeah.
Was in that game. That was the game he got hurt. And didn't play after that game.
And Jacksonville won it late, right?
Yeah, Jacksonville won it late. And again, the Chargers game was sort of a head scratcher, but I mean, they get gifted a win by the Raiders in OT. They had to sneak out an OT win against Arizona. I am less a believer in the Jaguars than I am in Denver. And a lot of that boils down to the coach, too. I keep saying this to everybody, and people look at me sideways. Guys, Sean Payton is still the best coach in the league. He's still the best coach in the league. Nobody knows how to manage a game, and he is such a great scheming coach. He knows how to accentuate what this team does well and get the most out of it, and he knows how to take away what you do best. Nobody's yes. So if you're asking me to back Denver against a short number and live with a push here, if it's a 30-27 final, whatever it is, 23-20, I'll take Denver.
I like the Jags. I get what you're saying. This is another one of those games where you're looking at it and it's like, which team do you believe in? Well, I'd rather take the home team in this situation, but Jacksonville, I think Liam Cohen has been brilliant this year and what he's put together in offense. And again, Denver's defense, it's weird. They have a really good defense, but they have so many games that end up being high scoring and you're going, is it just that they give up big plays or are there penalties that we're not talking about? Because they've had some very high scoring games and that same Denver team should have lost to the Giants at home.
Yeah. So look, we're on opposite sides here, but it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think you'll get a real taste of what both of these teams are. Both of these teams would become the playoffs. Because crazily enough, they're both going to get there. Who would have said that at the beginning of the year?
If either one of these teams went to the Super Bowl, how shocked would you be?
If I woke up with my head on the carpet tomorrow morning, I wouldn't be any more surprised than if that happened.
God, I hope you have an interesting morning.
You know what that's from, obviously, right?
What is it? I've heard it. I can't remember.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jimmy Clark. Eddie, if I woke up with my head on the carpet in the morning, I wouldn't be any more surprised than I am right now.
I'm not in the holiday spirit, Mark. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Santa. Knock off Santa.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
Oh, yeah, that it is, Edward. That it is. Final game we'll go over here. Pats and Ravens. Your horn. Speaking of untrustworthy teams, God, it's bad. You know, it was funny when I was in town last weekend and I was talking to other sports people, and I'm curious. I think Lamar's the problem.
Do you?
I don't think his play is the problem. I think Lamar's the problem. Like, Lamar just seems like he does what he wants. And he certainly doesn't get along with Harbaugh. I think he's soured on old John.
I mean, that's what the rumors are in town.
I'm not even in town, and I got the rumors.
Yeah. They're just rumors, though. Or are they?
Or are they? They could be true. Ravens laying 2.5 at home here. Now, this is the Patriots feel like a good teaser piece.
Yes.
Ravens aren't winning by margin.
I think this is a close game. I don't think the Ravens are fixed in any way. I do think, as you talked about, Lamar is part of the problem, but I think a lot of it has to do with his injury. He has been looking to throw more than run, although he said he's healed up. And in these spots, look, it's years past, and I know this is a different team that you could see anything from them. They just shut out the Bengals. They did give back 2 key pieces on defense with Tavius Robinson and Darius Washington. So I think that's going to help as well. This defense is getting better and better as the season goes on, so they're going to have to rely on that in the running game.
Couldn't get much worse, for the record.
Well, the other thing is we've got the Patriots with the worst red zone defense in the league and the Ravens with the worst red zone offense in the league. What's going to give?
The last time the Patriots lost a game, 21-14 back in week 3, they bounced back the following week and won 42-13 over Carolina. I only bring that up to say again, like, how do they respond after a loss? You know, a game that, could conceivably, if they lose this one, cost them the division.
Yeah.
But no, I shouldn't say that. Well, they're going to have to lose another division game. The Patriots are still going to have to lose 2 more before the season's over for the Bills to get the division. And one of those 2 will be either against whoever's starting for the Jets and then whoever's starting against Miami.
Yeah, I think one of the things they said is the most likely playoff scenario is the Bills coming to face whoever wins the AFC North.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way, if the Ravens drop this one and the Steelers win, I don't think I'd have to look at the tiebreakers. Could that clinch the division? I didn't get an email on clinching scenarios. Well, the Steelers are 3-1 in the division. The Ravens are 3-2.
So here's what happens. If the Ravens are able to beat the Patriots and the Lions are able to beat the Steelers, their next week's game does not matter for either team. It comes down to the last week of the season.
Right.
So they could treat that like a bye and rest their players next week if that happens.
Right. But if the Steelers go to 9-6 and the Ravens fall to 7-8, I think one more win locks it up because of the conference record, which is the second tiebreaker. Because the Ravens only have 1 division game left. It's against the Steelers. The Steelers have 2. They've got to beat the Browns and
the Ravens. Yeah. Well, anyway you slice it, it comes down to the final week.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the final week. But
unless the Ravens just totally crap the bed and the Steelers win out and then they've covered it, before the final game.
What do the Ravens have next week?
The Packers in Green Bay. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's why I'm saying if you can win this game, you get to rest your players next week, and that's not even going to matter. and get ready for the
also
Steelers.
you need the Lions to beat the Steelers this week.
Which I don't think's asking a lot. They should.
No, it's not. I mean, especially since the game is the game is in Detroit, yeah. So we'll see. All right.
I'm going to take the Ravens here, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah, I just think it's the right when you're looking at the team, the importance of the game. It's very.
Here's the problem, okay? And I've done this so many times, and the Chiefs have taken more of my money this year. Yes, it's got to be them. It's got to be them, right? This is the spot. This is the spot that the cream rises to the top and everything else. I'm not falling into that again. I'll take the Pats.
My cream has curdled.
Oh, why?
Because it didn't rise to the top.
Something wrong with you. 20 years later, I'm still doing this with you. Okay, time for our show best bet. We had toyed with the idea for our show best bet of taking the Tennessee Titans this week because I think Kansas City's going to quit. I think they're going to fold like nobody's business. Titans at plus 3.5 at home. I know it sounds great, but what is their legitimate reason for trying? Other than being
not with Minshew back there. He won't let him quit. That guy's got more heart, Mark, than anyone in that league.
Oh, shut up. Looks like the guy Marty who wanted to paint the rouge.
He's painting rouge.
But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We are going to take the Detroit Lions and lay the 7 here. Pittsburgh on the road after a Monday night game. We've played this system all year long. They are going to end up in a spot here where they are going up against a much better team than they are, despite the 8-6 record that they both have. But not only that, Dan Campbell off a loss is now, I think, 24-2.
Yeah.
In his tenure over the last 3 years, some nuts number like that, whatever it may be. I mean, they've done really well. They don't lose games all that often. So they bounce back really well. And let me see if I can get that number real quick. But I don't see how they keep up.
Don't forget that number.
Yep.
You find that number yet?
I did not. I'm talking. Don't forget my number. Let me see if I add this in there. Good off a loss. Let's see.
And while you're looking that up, the other thing that factors into this is the Steelers have been terrible against the run. And looking at that two-headed monster, Jahmyr Gibbs seems to have a monster game, then a quiet one, then another monster. He's had some crazy games. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another 3-tutty one.
Dating back to 20 of 22, no back-to-back losses for Dan Campbell. Now, the question is, can they cover this big number? But it's when I see a number that big in a game like this of two teams with the same record, tells you all you need to know. They're going to win this game by double digits. So we agree. Lions here for the show best bet. All right. That'll do it for the week 16 edition of Top Dogs. Jerry and I will both have plays in the NFL this weekend. Go to our premium pages over at pickdawgz.com and continue to get a whole bunch of winners. So we will have a show next week. I know we got games on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, right? It's a crazy schedule. So we'll get Top Dogs here up by Tuesday. So you guys have a couple days. We have games on the 25th and the 27th. So Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A lot of football in the NFL across next week. So make sure you guys stay locked in. Hit the subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. Appreciate you guys joining us for the Week 16 edition of Top Dogs. Back next week. Good luck on Sunday. Go cash some tickets. We'll talk to you next week.